Ooh, are you down with the wolf? Let's go. Woo, 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 woo. What's going on, guys? It's the man with the plan, the man in black. Let's get at that. And if this is your first time here and you're new to the tribe, hit that bell, like, and subscribe because the truth will not be denied. And it's the foreign national, born natural, James C. Loving every watch and every ones of yous, each and individually. Y'all ready for this? Think so. As always, guys, if you see anybody using any of my information, hit that report button for bullying, slander, defamation. Thank you in advance. And thank you to the people who've already done it out there to get some of those BS videos down, YouTube sites shut down, all that other stuff out there, because the truth will set you free. If you're against the things we're talking about here, then you yourself are a traitor to the United States of America. So please keep talking that jazz. So many out there want to put mine in their mouth, and I guess that's fine because your people from your channels are coming over to mine, and we're doing good. And I love fixing the mistakes that you're telling some of your people to do, and they're not happy with you. Some of y'all aren't keeping appointments, consults, you're overcharging. People are finding that out. So it's sad and sucks that some of you guys have to be, unfortunately, physically, financially, verbally abused, but the truth is coming out. We have survived the test of time. For those of you guys who don't know, yes, the agencies do watch my videos. They learn a lot here. I've actually been reached out by some of these agents before over the years, nothing recently. I do have some things, though, that you guys should be working on for me, if you guys don't mind. Not you, my regular people, my wolves. I'm talking about the three-letter agencies and some of the law enforcement out there. Like my missing son, whose mother kidnapped him from the Midwest, took him to another state. That you guys could work on for me. That would be cool. But at least if you're here anyway, getting an education, I appreciate you guys because some of you guys, including the agencies out there, don't know the Constitution. Some of these three-letter agencies, and I know especially most of you guys viewers, don't know anything about America's jurisprudence books, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence. But see, it's also because most of them, I shouldn't say most, a number of them operate in statutory law. Statutory law is not the real law. It's legal. It is not the superior law in the United States of America. But I digress because most of them work in the United States corporation. They don't understand that their power comes from the state, but the state is not completely sovereign. The state, each state, state of Florida, state of Wisconsin, state of California, state of Texas, whatever else, they all forfeited being completely sovereign. It's probably why they don't like sovereigns, because they're not 100% sovereign. We can be. They answer to the United States corporation. And that corporation and federal government answers to we the people when we're in our private standing and proper standing. But I digress. Let's get into it. Sometimes you got to let out the crazy, otherwise, the crazy will let you in. Once again, Madman in the Box, little blue box. Some of you guys will get the reference. The rest of you guys will catch up. All right. With that being said, guys, don't forget to check out Black Side 32. We got some new files uploaded there. We got some new things, donations. Thank you, Ramen, for the donation. I seen that come in. So thank you. You are my number one supporter monthly. Probably get less than 10 donations, but that's okay. That's why, I got to charge for my files and stuff. Like I told you guys in the beginning, if you donate, I'll keep things low. If you don't donate, well, then I got to charge for stuff. So just I charge for the stuff. But I appreciate all those people who do send in donations and the people who do support on the YouTube main site and click the join button. And then they're part of the monthly subscription. So you guys have access to the behind the scenes videos on YouTube. And thank you to the Camera, are we doing this? Camera, camera. There we go. Pay attention to your life. All right, perfect. All right. Thank you to the people who have supported me out of the gate. Okay, so a lot of the merchandise I sell, it's okay, it's decent. Not a lot of people bought, but we're gonna revamp and put some funny things on there. Seems like people like funny things more than just me and Wolf stuff. So we're gonna add to the merchandise, which can be found on Black Site 32 on the merchandise page. We're gonna add to that. People have spoken. You want something more funnier, so we're gonna bring you guys more funny. Um, Thank you to also the people who have supported me out of the gate, out of the jump early on with the jamesclovett.com website where you guys get all the private videos, courses, information, all the stuff you guys really want to know the answers to. And educationally speaking, I may put up some new videos soon. And then one may also include all of the information I know, educationally speaking, about bonds, QSIPs, and all that other good stuff. We already made some videos, but they're in pieces. So one of the videos that I may put up there is all the stuff we've learned as education. You guys are responsible for what you guys do. We're just giving you info here. All right. So thank you for the people who supported me over there, jamesclovett.com, and on my TikTok channels and Instagram and Facebook group and TikTok and what is it? What's the one with the Telegram and the Telegram groups? All right. Without further ado, get into it. So this particular video is about dirty legal tricks that they use in the court that you need to be aware of. Now, there's bound to be more, but I'm going to give you the top 50, and I'm going to also give you the ones that I've personally experienced. I may not remember all of them because it's been years and they still continue to use them, do them, and whatever else, but I want you guys aware. So if you guys have any additional information that you guys want me to know to make a video or to make an update video, let me know. Email me. Make sure that it's either vetted information or whatever else, because if I can't vet it or I think it's just some BS or you're an agent trying to get me to put out some fictitious, fraudulent crap information. Oh no, it's never happened before. I'm not going to fall for that. All right, I'm not going to put it up there. So it's got to be on the up and up. But if you guys do have good tips, tricks, and techniques that will help me or other people, let me know. Um, Also on Black Site 32, we now have a take action page. The take action page is going to be for those groups out there with a website or a GoFundMe that are helping to fight the good fight, causes, illnesses, whatever else. I mean, at Black Site, we get over 500,000 visitors a year, 500,000 guys. That's pretty nuts for just being me. So if you guys do have a verified cause and it looks legit, everything checks out, I will for free put that up on my site to help your cause. I have reached out to one or two of these places to see if they want to do an interview. I haven't heard anything back from them, so it may or may not happen. But I do believe in helping good causes. Now, for those people who don't know, I do have probably like seven other channels, but like five of them are not moving because I also don't have a whole lot of time to make that many videos. Plus, they're older ones. I just set up a lot. I was going to do a lot of different things. I don't have the time for it. So I got it down to two channels. And out of those two channels, I took the one that is doing better than the other one and kind of combined them. So the new channel is called Badwolf Unrestricted. If you have not joined Badwolf Unrestricted, you need to join it. It was formerly known as the Badwolf Media Channel. So instead of just having that, I'm combining the other two channels and the topics into one. Okay. So one channel, unrestricted. That one is the one where I'm going to talk about all other stuff I've learned in these books and things and personal experiences, all of it in one. We're not going to separate, oh, this is for the news, this is for, nope, 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 all of it. So I'll probably only have like maybe 10 or 20, not even probably 20 videos on there. We're already up to about 5,000 subscribers. So help me build out that channel. All right, now without further ado, let's get into it. All right, that's the best I can do for special effects. And for those people, check it out. I got my yellow Bruce Lee. Down, 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 down. Bruce Lee pants. I got the top somewhere. I think it's wherever else. But if you guys didn't know, I love Bruce Lee. All right, anyway, let's get to it. So, dirty tricks. So, let me think now. Some of the dirty tricks that I've learned or been through or seen or heard about or experienced. All right, so one of them would be them talking to you in the a back room or a side room. Understand that anything that they tell you in those in the side room or the back room or in the hallway ain't on the record. If you go on there and you go into the well, let me finish up this part first. So that's just casual talk. That's pillow talk. That's things you say to get the booty. Okay. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, and a lot of you ladies should know exactly what I'm talking about. If y'all didn't had every guy out there, at least one of y'all, at least one of the guys y'all dated. Oh, girl, I got lots of money. I got this and that, and you're like, oh, that's you have a car, you got money, ooh, hey. And got you bit, guys. You didn't got too. Oh, don't worry, baby. You sure you can trust? I can trust you. You're on the shot. You're on the pill. You can't get pregnant. Oh yeah, don't you can trust me, baby. And the father is everybody out there's been got. So one of the ways that these courts get you is by telling you what you can or cannot do out in the hallway. They're not giving you good counsel. They're setting you up to fail. For real, that's what it is. They're setting you up to fail. Same thing when it comes to asking them, are we on the record? Now, you go into court and you want to say, are we on the record? Why? Because if it's not on the record, it's not on the public side. It's considered private within the U.S. corporation. You're looked at as a member of theirs. Now, I was going to take all these dirty tricks and make it into a video and put it on my jameslovett.com, but I'm going to give you guys this one on the G. But there are other videos like this in on Black Site 32, or not Black Site 32, but on jameslovett.com. All right. Lots of good videos, guys, over there. Those are the paid ones, so I'm not going to hide it. And uh, they are reasonable. They're kept all around the same price as what you guys would pay me to talk to me in a consultation about the same information anyway. I try to be very reasonable. There's been so far no problems with people buying. And matter of fact, if you get the whole shebang, which covers almost all the files on that site, it's like 50% discount. So like it's a really good deal. That's all I'm saying, especially for what you're getting. And if you guys learn to take this information and use it the right way, let's just say you guys can get a lot of very powerful things done. But that's for you to learn. I'm just giving you the pieces. What you build is on you. So once again, from your favorite non-belligerent, non-combatant, treaty of the United States, Lord of Lovitica, private citizen, foreign national, born natural, the bad wolf. All right. So you want to make sure that it's on the record. They hate this. Absolutely hate it. They want to treat you like you're a product, a dead person, a dead thing, an entity, an ens legis, a legal person, corporation, because that's really what those courts are for. Oh, if you only understood what I said right there. Some of you do. All right. So, other tricks that I've seen pulling you into the judge's chambers. Once again, another back room off the record conversation. Oh, so you're not going to do this out there. You're not going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. I'll hold you in contempt. They're threatening and scaring you into duress and not allowing you to utilize your rights and other things. And of course, understand when you're in there, it's not a constitutional court. So they don't want to hear you mention the word constitution. All right. They have that right because generally you're not sitting in a constitutional court like the Supreme Court, all right, federal court where they can hear that kind of stuff. So There's some gem drops there if you guys know what I just said. All right. Another thing I've seen is them put the wrong time. At the last minute, they suddenly change the time that you're supposed to be there and don't send you out a new mailer. So you want to, as you get closer to your date, call them and make sure it's the right time and the right room number. I've seen and dealt with people where not only did they change the date, the time, and the room, but luckily enough, this particular person got there early, didn't see anybody there, walked around and asked, and found out that it was moved upstairs in a different room at a different time. That's what they do to high profile people that they know who you are and they don't want to deal with you. Then they can say, oh, well, you didn't show. Now, which is illegal and fraudulent for them to do, you have to not only fight your court case that you missed, but you have to prove that you were never informed of the change. Oh, well, we should have mailed it out. You didn't get that? That's odd. How odd. Yeah, seen it, done it, been there, done that. All right. So yeah, we talked about changing the date, switching rooms, wrong time, back room. Um, Another thing that happened to one of my clients is they got ready to use their evidence, which was a video from the cop cam where the cop literally said, if we're wrong, you can sue us. But in the back room, they kind of started talking this person out of their game. And then what they also did was is they removed the audio so you can't hear the cop saying it. It's just the cop. So she didn't have, wasn't on the record, didn't have a hearing impaired person there, a translator to do that, and didn't bring in their own copy. Oh, that's what it was. They said, oh, you can't bring in your own evidence. It has to be anything submitted because she didn't get the information, had the information for themselves, but then submit it as evidence, thought that the evidence they were providing was intact and it was not. That's illegal. They're hiding evidence. That's exculpatory evidence where they're hiding it. That's a felony. Because also in the video, the cop said, because she claimed her constitutional rights on video. I claim my constitutional rights. I am not waiving my rights. And they still arrested her. And then in the video, she claims that. Now, in court, had she claimed that, she would have gotten completely out of her sentence. Now, we did get her out of the half. And then, of course, because of what all happened, that fraud that allowed the judge, because of how the person reacted, to be in contempt. And so the person is on probation, but we're working to get that taken care of. So beware of tampered evidence. Um, get your own and submit it intact. And then bring a copy on all the normal mediums, U.S.B, whatever else, for yourself. Which also brings up to the other part that I had contempt of court. If you say something, they'll say, well, I'm going to put you in contempt of court. Now they can do this, but what they're basically saying is that, hey, we're trying to just do business and you're doing things that are messing with us moving forward and you're denying my right and power as a judge and you're not obeying. So beware of contempt of court. Another trick that they use is they will, I don't even know how they got my damn cell phone number, but sometimes they would call me because they wanted to see how I was going to move in court because they know that I know a lot of things. The prosecutor wanted to call beforehand and talk things out, talk it over. What are you going to do? What's up? What can we work out here? See, at the end of the day, a lot of things you guys don't also know is that they're willing to work with you to some degree, but you guys never ask. You can use and play the same tricks that they use on you against them. Next up, cops can lie. Get out a lot of that crazy stuff you see on TV. Oh, cops can lie. Yes, the hell they can. But see, I think by law, a cop on duty, not undercover, but there's no law. That's where you guys come in. Should not be able to lie. Like the same person I was talking about with the video, the cop said, "Well, if you do this, we won't arrest you." So the person did that, and they still arrested her. So you're lying. You're lying to compel somebody, and you're putting somebody under duress. That should be considered fraud. Cops should not be allowed to do fraudulent things unless they're undercover. I mean, they're supposed to be representing the best of the community, the best of those who are supposed to enforce the law. They're supposed to be protecting us as Americans and nationals, state citizens, the private and the public. So, how am I supposed to tell my kid, oh, that's right, I can't because my baby mama kidnapped him and the law won't do anything about it? And neither are the courts and some other agencies. My bad. Well, if my kid was here, how could I tell him, oh, you can always trust a police officer when there's officers out there who have robbed, essayed people, stolen money, hidden evidence, lied. I can't. I can't in good judgment. I can only say protect yourself first at all costs. And if a officer is around, you have a good chance, not completely, that you should get some help. But remember, there's actually no law that says a police officer is obligated to risk their life to protect you or really protect you. They're there for policy enforcement. Why do you think the back of the car say to sever and prosecute? I mean, to oh wait, that's right. That's not on there. To serve and protect. Is that even still on there? How come none of their paperwork has the word America or Constitution on there? And that goes out to you officers because I know you officers watch my videos too. Some of you guys are cool. I like the ones who like to ask me questions like, Mr. Lovett, can we do some of that stuff? Can we get out of paying taxes? Can we do right to travel? Can we put our stuff in? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not against any of you guys. We're not against any of the agencies. We're not against any officers unless you're a shitbag individual one or somebody helping my baby mama hide my son. Then absolutely, I hope you burn in hell with toxic waste pouring out of your eyeballs, you piece of shit. Otherwise, the rest of you guys, you're all cool in my book. As long as you're hurting me, you're not hurting me or hurting kids or mine, we're good. I don't care what you guys do. So let's go on. The next thing is understanding that most of these courts are considered or called kangaroo courts. Why? Because they will try to jump around and they will try to ignore you. You're in there claiming your rights and things and winning your case. And they'll say, okay, well, what we're going to do is this. And then we're going to set a trial date for that. And you're talking and you're talking. You're like, okay, does the 15th work? No? 30? Okay, we'll just go with the 31st. 31st? Oh, it's a holiday. You know what? We'll let you have the holiday. Let's go with the 7th on the following month. Now, by you going, okay, yeah, well, we'll take the 7th. We'll just finish it up then. Okay, yeah, because we're running over on time, and no, they can push everybody back. They just know that you are winning, and this is another tactic that judges use to get you to push us out to try to deal with you later on, wear you down a little bit, drag it out. When you accept that new court date without rebuttal, everything else you've done has been wiped out. This is why, and this goes out to some of you ladies as well. When you're going to call the cops or whatever else on some, oh, and by the way, we're going to take a 2-second break here. As you see now, I'm going to be a whole lot more honest with things. You want to see me even more honest and whatever else? Check me out on my other YouTube channel, Badwolf Unrestricted. Okay, so this goes out to you ladies. All right, not the women out there. I'm talking about the adult-sized girls out there. So you guys call the police on your baby daddy or some guy you're messing around with, because usually there's almost always sex involved. So he hit you, he did whatever, and I'm not condoning that at all. But see, the problem is that if you don't say I'm going to press charges and go through with all of it, but you just want him to stop touching you inappropriately or hitting you, and the cops go away, they basically wipe all of that past stuff because you're continuing the deal. You're not pressing charges. So as you go from being an adult sized girl to a woman, you need to have better discernment on the male in your life because these males that you're picking, most of you, almost all of you have gone through this. You guys wanted so bad a relationship, or you've never had a good father figure to teach you to be able to discern a man from a boy or an adult sized boy. That's why you're having problems. You're not picking wisely. Oh, well, but I knew him for a couple months and he seemed cool and he was nice. Yes, everybody's nice to everybody the first couple months. Your most of your decision making, your discernment is piss poor. But I digress. When you do not go through with it, let me give it to you in another way. I was having problems with one of the banks and I was continuing to make payments, right? But I was arguing things out. Blah, blah, blah. But by me continuing to make the payments, which I did that so that they couldn't say that I walked away from the table. But legally, the moment you argue something, you are then protected and you do not have to make payments until the issue has been resolved. By me continuing to make payments, that allowed the bank to ignore all the things that we were saying because it's like when a girl goes, no, stop, don't quit, stop. You're sending mixed signals. You have to be very clear on what signals you're sending. And I'm sorry, ladies, but a lot of you do send a lot of mixed signals. You got to be very clear and you got to stand on it. If the guy or girl you're in a relationship with, because lesbians actually have a higher rate of divorce and relationship turnover than heterosexual normal relationships, you got to figure out where the problems are coming from. Sorry, not sorry. That being stated, if you continue to mess with somebody who's hurting you, that is like what they call Stockholm syndrome. You've begun to accept the piss poor treatment from that adult sized boy, that institution, that court, that person, that man, that or male or female. You're part of the problem. Learn your lesson, grow forward, and move on. So, once again, these courts will play these games. You have to be aware of it. Another thing that they do is they will hide evidence. You go to ask for evidence, like, oh, you don't have it. We must have lost it. Where was it? Oh, did you request it? I don't see it anywhere. Once again, much like I talk about on my TikTok channel and I talk on my Badwolf Unrestricted now, the times for niceties are over. You guys got to get in the game. You got to get your head right. It's okay that you guys have made a lot of mistakes and made and a lot of piss poor decisions and choices, but you need to move forward and do better. Some of you guys and girls are on your fifth, 10th, 20th, 30th body count, and you're still making poor decisions. You're still letting people just come into your lives and have access to all your stuff, hoping that it's love. Generally, it's lust. Okay. Doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in love, but generally the person is in lust because you guys are not turning these people into friends, just being their friends. You're giving in and you want it so bad because they know you want it so bad. Not the sex part, but a healthy relationship. But a healthy person will wait for you. They want to get to know you. All right. So now let's jump over to another list I've compiled of the top 50 tricks, fraud, coercion, kangaroo court tactics that they use in court against you. And I think you guys will be amazed at what we've put together here. So let's take a look. Ambiguify. I'm huge. Tiny. Huge. Tiny. All right. How about right about there? Okay, that'll work. All right. All right. So let's get. You know, we'll just have it started reading it from here. Tools, read aloud.
Good. I below is a sharply focused, legally framed list of 50 common dirty/sneaky tactics that police, prosecutors, judges, clerks, process servers, and opposing lawyers have used or been accused of using to win cases, hide evidence, keep people out of court, or deny rights, followed by short notes on why each is illegal/unethical and what a defense-focused remedy looks like, motions, complaints, evidence to collect, who to notify. I've cited authoritative authorities for the key legal rules and for statistics about how often official misconduct contributes to wrongful convictions. Read it as a toolkit for spotting and countering problems, not as how-to instructions to break law. Key authorities. Read first the Supreme Court's Brady Rule on disclosure of exculpatory evidence, DOJ guidance on law enforcement misconduct.
Exculpatory evidence is evidence that could free you if it was brought forward. Much like my friend with the video where they removed the audio, that's exculpatory evidence. And they hid that. That's misconduct. That's fraud.
Misconduct. The Innocence Project's documentation of official misconduct in exonerations, the Code of Conduct for U.S. judges, and writing on sewer service, improper service of process. Top 50 dirty/sneaky tactics, with short legal note plus practical remedy. Withholding Brady/Giglio evidence, exculpatory or impeachment material. Why wrong, violates due process, 14th Amendment, and Brady/Giglio doctrine. Remedy.
Now, Giglio, Brady and Giglio, those are basically the same thing, just different name. But this is where it's a list of which cops or whoever, usually it's just cops, I think, where they do dirty things. They've already been convicted of something or alleged of something, or it's been kind of somewhat proven. Exculpatory, once again, that is evidence that could exonerate you, that is like, hey, this cop doesn't like black people. All right, it's kind of something that you need to know. And if he's got a history of it, and you can prove that through the Brady list or Giglio list, and they know about it or hide it, or you don't look for it, that's kind of that's that. Then you may not win your case. Impeachment materials, uh, things that could be there to once again prove that you're innocent. All right, or materials that should not be there that are being used against you. All right.
Remedy. File Brady/Giglio disclosure motions, ask for a hearing, move for dismissal/new trial, preserve record for appeal. Justia law. Planting or fabricating evidence, drugs, weapons, forensic results.
Police have done this a lot. Thank God for the fact that a lot of them have cams now. Some of them have even, when you're recording, taken your phone, gone in it, and deleted their own information, deleted the video, smashed the phone. But yet you do something like that, you're a problem. They do this and get it away. Now you have to try to prove it. We need a new system. We need an overhaul. We need somebody who's a third party to police the police. We need people out there. Like, there should be people, I say like me, for instance, all right, who should be able to apply as like some kind of like external affairs where like I can overrule a cop and say, hey, what you're doing there is wrong. And he's like, oh, I'm a cop. I got a gun. I'm like, yeah, well, I work for the government. And I got a gun too. I'm a federal agent. Here's mine. Mine's bigger than yours. You're planting evidence. You're fabric, whatever else. Like what in the old days, like hall monitors, or and have an agency where like we can go and report these cops and do whatever we need to do within the bounds of the United States of America to make sure that Americans are safe and protected. Let's keep going.
Results. Why wrong, fabrication, perjury, suppression can produce wrongful convictions.
Facts.
Remedy, demand chain of custody records, independent testing, file motions to suppress, preserve all discovery. Consider Civil Section 1983 suit later.
Discovery is where you're asking them to provide all of the information that allegedly convicts you, that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt you were doing something criminal at the time, and they had to stop you. But most of these things are not criminal. Most people are locked up on some really heavy sentences for things that weren't even criminal, and they need to be filing either personally or with a friend or whatever else. You can do it on behalf of some people, a habeas corpus. I made a video on that. If not, you don't have it, you can see it, look it up. Look up the video or look it up. Habeas corpus. Get them out of there if they're locked up already and they didn't do anything criminal.
Later. Forensic failures are a leading cause of wrongful convictions. Altering or destroying evidence, spoliation. Why wrong, destroys defendant's ability to defend, sanctionable. Remedy, request spoliation sanctions, adverse inference instructions, immediate motion to preserve evidence and for independent testing. Pressuring witnesses / coercing confessions, threats, promises, prolonged interrogation. Why wrong, violates voluntariness and due process. False confessions are common in wrongful convictions. Remedy, file motion to suppress confession, demand recorded interviews, seek evidentiary hearing. Innocence Project. Using unreliable or overstated forensic testimony, junk science. Why wrong, misleading the fact finder, may be scientific error or misconduct. Remedy, retain independent experts, file Daubert / Kumho motions, require methodology disclosures. Leading or coached witness testimony, police suggestive ID procedures. Why wrong, violates fairness, eyewitness ID reliability problems. Remedy, request lineup / photo procedure records, suppression, or jury instruction, subpoena lab / records. Fabricating police reports or backdating notes. Why wrong, perjury, prosecution use of false documents. Remedy, subpoena officer notes, file Brady motion, seek perjury investigation. Sewer service, intentionally failing to serve a defendant so default judgment can be entered. Why wrong, deprives person of notice and ability to be heard, grounds to vacate judgment. Remedy, move to set aside default for improper service, demand affidavit of service in server's log. Falsely claiming service by mail when it was never mailed. Why wrong, same as above, denies due process. Remedy, demand proof of mailing, certificate of service, post office records, move to vacate. Clerks or judges incorrectly enter.
Now, let me express to you guys, I'll give you guys a gem drop here. When they say move to vacate or it's a motion to vacate, all right, you're basically stating that this whole thing is messed up. Here's the reason why. There was something wrong was done, illegal, fraudulent, and this can be done at any point in time. Even years after you may have been convicted on something, you can motion to vacate that. There are other motions you can use, but some are time sensitive. Y'all getting this edumacation? Good, good.
Entering or hiding filings, misindexing, losing motions. Why wrong, denies access to court record, can prejudice party. Remedy, obtains certified docket, file motion to correct the record, file judicial conduct/administrative complaint. Ambushing defense counsel with new evidence at trial, surprise exhibits. Why wrong, violates discovery rules and fair trial. Remedy, motion for continuance, exclusion of evidence, mistrial, or new trial. Failure to provide discovery in a timely or complete way, piecemeal production. Why wrong, undermines defense preparation, may be sanctionable. Remedy, file discovery motion, ask for sanctions and continuance. Judge refuses to recuse despite bias or conflict of interest. Why wrong, violates impartial judge standards, code of conduct concerns. Remedy, timely motion to recuse, create record, appeal if denied, complaint to Judicial Conduct Board. Judge coaching the jury or ex parte communications with one side. Why wrong, denies impartial tribunal, ex parte communications are prohibited. Remedy, make record, move for mistrial/recusal, file complaint. Clerk improperly sealing or redacting records to hide exculpatory info. Why wrong, prevents public and defense access, may hide Brady material. Remedy, motion to unseal, compel full disclosure, appeal. Prosecutor knowingly presenting false testimony or failing to correct false testimony. Why wrong, prosecutorial misconduct and Brady/Giglio violations. Remedy, request hearing, sanctions, dismissal, bar complaint. Coaching witnesses to change prior inconsistent statements into a clean narrative. Why wrong, subverts truth, possibly perjury. Remedy, impeach with prior statements, demand notes, and recordings.
This is one of the things that they do to you in the side rooms or in the back chamber or whatever, or in the hallway. These are the tactics, guys. These are the things. So let's keep going.
Recordings. Suppression of surveillance or body cam footage. Why wrong, potentially Brady material, transparency requirement. Remedy, subpoena video, file preservation demand, motion to compel. Cherry-picking favorable lab results while hiding unfavorable tests. Why wrong, Brady violation and forensic misconduct. Remedy, demand full lab file and raw data, independent retest. Using confidential informants and then hiding their incentives/records. Why wrong, impeach.
They will use informants, tell them, oh, we'll take off privately once again, not on the official record. Oh, we'll take off we'll knock a month or two off if you say it like this. They do that kind of stuff all the time.
Impeachment material, Giglio, and reliability issues. Remedy, file Giglio request.
The horrible part is, so here you are fighting something, they do something shady. You have to then, if you want to use this and you find it out, you have to then prove it and use that to disqualify, but you still have to deal with your case in general. So maybe the judge is recused or the prosecutor is dismissed, but you still got your stuff. So that's why the law on the state level especially is a shit show. It's like nailing jello to the wall. And by the way, I hate the word jello or jelly. Just saying, I don't like, it's jam for me. But it's like nailing jello to the fucking wall. And the law trusts these people, and yet they manipulate and abuse it. And the very people that are their bosses don't come down. Their real bosses, not their immediate bosses who are in on it or don't want to know about it or know about it and don't want to know about it or getting it or wanting it known. But we, the people, their bosses, their bosses' bosses are us. And the government has direct oversight over it. And they're not doing anything because you guys, we are not bringing the problems to the government, writing the letters. There's something going on here. We should be writing so many letters that the government goes, oh my God, ah, damn, there's a lot of problems going on down here. We didn't know it was this bad. These problems are systemic. We have to force them to do better. If you guys don't, it is what it is. You're going to keep getting the same treatment and cold ass porridge shoved in your mouth, down your throat. Same thing. That's all you're going to get. Because I mean, if you're okay with bad treatment, why would they change? Once again, out to you ladies and guys too, because guys get bad treatment. I've dated a lot of shithead ass females before. Only dated a handful of actual women or young ladies. If you're not going to, if you're going to continue to take the bad treatment, why would they change? You think they're just going to wake up one day and be like, "Oh my God, I've been treating her, I've been treating him so bad." What are you, stupid? Here, hold on, cut the screen. Let's jump into this real quick, just because it's already on the topic here. If you guys want some really good, I mean some really fire advice for what situation you're going through with your boyfriend, your little girlfriend, or whoever, whatever else, here's what I want you to do from now on. I want you to pretend that whatever you're going through, I want you to pretend that exact scenario is what your son or daughter is going through. So pretend to have a son or a daughter, and they're going through what you're going through right now. What advice would you give them? I found this to be a good psychological trick, and yes, I studied psychology for many years, because most people will then third party themselves and say, well, if I was going to protect my son or daughter, I would say, you need to leave that piece of shit. You need to leave her alone. You need to drop him. But yet you won't do it. Thoroughly put yourself in that position where you mentally believe your problem is being your daughter, your son, somebody you truly, truly love is going through what you're going through. And then ask yourself, what advice, play it out, sound out the words in the big letters, and what advice would you give them? All the advice, completely. Take yourself out of the equation. A lot of you guys are too emotional. And you can't see the full story, but you know it, but you can't see it. Some people, what they used to say, you can't see the forest for the trees. Then you'll find you have some pretty good advice. Most females love this when I tell them to do that. And then all of a sudden, they magically, their poor discernment goes right out of the window. Like my lady, when I tell her, well, what advice would you give your daughter if she had done this with this guy and whatever else? She's like, oh, suddenly she's got great discernment, not for herself. And in fact, this is a true story. And she's raising awesome offspring by me helping her to change her overstanding of things. This is what I do on my TikTok channel and what I do over on Badwolf Unrestricted. So I probably will hurt some of your feelings or make you uncomfortable in some things, but it's going to be the truth, and truth hurts. But somebody needs to say it, and I'll say it. I don't give a damn. Let's get back to it. Take us in, Kimosabe.
Request, subpoena informant records. misstating or overstating the law on the record to mislead the judge. Why wrong, misleading court, possibly ethical violation. Remedy, lodge objections, cite authority, request correction or reconsideration, preserve for appeal. Refusing to appoint counsel or delaying appointment, especially indigent defendants. Why wrong, violates Gideon/Sixth Amendment. Remedy, move for appointment, file emergency motion, seek habeas if necessary. Intimidation or threats of harsher charges to coerce pleas, trial penalty.
Ooh, that's a big one. Hold on, I'm putting my phone down. Look at me, Uncle James. I'm putting my foot down. All right, for those who watch Uncle Roger, you guys get the reference. Um, this is a huge one. They do it almost every thing. I've had it done at least 3 times. The moment they say, well, if you don't take this in the hallway, remember, and take the plea, you're facing 25 years. That's a violation. They're threatening you. Oh, I wasn't threatening you. We're just making a little side deal here in the private hallway. It's a threat. Check, check. Okay, I think we're back to. It's a threat. It's a dirty tactic. Let's get back into it. Intimidation or threat of harsher charges to coerce a plea, right? How many of y'all right now, and I'm going to have the comment section over, have experienced this? Did you know that's a violation of your due process? You may be able to get it thrown out, the whole thing, and walk away just by that alone. Let's keep going.
Penalty. Why wrong, coerced pleas violate due process. Remedy, seek plea colloquy review, raise coercion on motion, preserve for appeal/post conviction. Improper ex parte settlements or deals between prosecutor and judge's staff. Why wrong, impermissible private deals, conflicts of interest.
Once again, in my paperwork, we talk about conflicts of interest. If they're directly or indirectly making money, or they're policing or judging for profit, like many of them have, or they're racist or in groups against people of color or gay, whatever it is, if they have a history of it, that's a problem. It's a conflict of interest. They're supposed to be impartial, but they sure as hell do not act that way, but they try to present themselves that way.
Interest. Remedy, motion to disclose terms, motion to vacate, complaint. Refusal to provide or withholding transcripts or court record copies.
Once again, they'll say, well, we don't operate under FOIA. You can't FOIA this information, which in some cases is true because some of these police stations are not government agencies or entities. They're private. They're mall security for the public. If you really ask me, they shouldn't have anything more than tasers. But unfortunately, there's a lot of bad people out there with some heavy heat, so they need it. But my problem is that most times they're nowhere to be found when a real gang war starts or mob this or whatever. They show up later on picking up the pieces. They ain't in there having no full-on shootout, taking them down. It's the last time you heard them taking down any of that stuff. Nothing, but on a daily basis, they're pulling guns on regular citizens. One of my clients just today was telling me how him and his kids were bothered because they were biking to a park and the kids didn't have a helmet on, which is his right as a private citizen. They're like, and the officer's like, well, I'm gonna arrest you. I'm gonna arrest your kids. I'm gonna contact Child Protective Services. Like, what is wrong with you? What is your malfunction, Junior? Stupid. That doesn't sound like a peace officer who's there to the help you and care and take care of the neighborhood, make sure. No, now I'm not saying he needs to be Barney Fife or something like that, but at the same time, uh, that's a bit much. No, that's all too much.
Copies. Why wrong? Hampers appeal and post-conviction remedies. Remedy, motion to compel transcripts at public expense, seek mandamus if necessary. Fabricating probable cause in affidavits to get warrants. Why wrong? False statements to a magistrate, warrants may be invalid, Frank's challenge. Remedy, file Frank's hearing motion to suppress evidence and expose false affidavit. Backdating warrants, reports, or court orders. Why wrong? Perjury/fraud on the court. Remedy, seek evidentiary hearing, motions to suppress, refer for criminal investigation. Selective enforcement or selective prosecution based on impermissible factors. Why wrong? Equal protection and due process issues. Remedy, motion to dismiss on selective prosecution grounds, preserve facts for review.
Now, even for me, selective enforcement. The fact that none of these local law enforcement are picking up my case and enforcing my rights to get my offspring back, that's selective enforcement. I can sue them for that, and that is probably what I'm going to have to do, because if I'm not going to just easily be able to get my offspring back, then I might as well make some money. And then I can hire one of their big fancy muckety muck lawyers and then have them do it. It ain't gonna cost me nothing but $500 to file a complaint in federal court. Or how about this? One of the three-letter agencies, they don't want to help either. Selective enforcement sounds good. Sounds like a lawsuit to me. Starting at 500,000 a pop. I'll take a cool mill because you guys don't want to do your job. You want to call me a this or a that and then not do your job? You guys, we have to start learning these things and going after these constitutional violations, these civil rights violations. Some of them are even state law violations. These are violations within their own craft.
Review. Improper no contact or gag orders used to deprive defense access to witnesses. Why wrong? Can obstruct defense.
Now, for me, my apple-headed punk bitch baby mama decided that she was going to get a protection order against me so she didn't have to show her address while trying to get me for child support, which failed because apparently she and them didn't realize who they were going up against, at least in that matter. So I couldn't get her address to be able to serve her, but yet here she is serving me on the fact that I'm apparently violent, but they have no proof of that, but they protected her address. Child support agency, I'm sure you guys watch this too. They are liable for that too. I can go after them. Make another 500,000. 1.5 sounds good to me.
Defense and First Amendment issues. Remedy, challenge order, seek narrow tailoring, ask for exceptions for counsel/witness contact. Fabricating victim/witness statements or coaching victims, especially in family/child cases. Why wrong? Destroys reliability of testimony, grounds to challenge. Remedy, obtain prior statements, records, forensic interviews, challenge credibility. Misleading or incomplete jury instructions drafted to favor one side. Why wrong? Can misstate law and prejudice jury. Remedy: object on record, propose correct instructions, preserve for appeal. Pressuring clerks to file decisions or judgments without proper notice. Why wrong? Procedural unfairness, denial of notice. Remedy: obtain certified docket, move to vacate and for sanctions. Failure to honor subpoenas for defense witnesses, or refusal by courts to enforce. Why wrong? Obstructs defense. Remedy: motion to compel, show cause against witness, contempt if appropriate. Improper sealing of indictments or charging documents to avoid public scrutiny. Why wrong? Undermines transparency and ability to challenge. Remedy: motion to unseal and to disclose redacted portions. Clerks or court staff losing mail or filings selectively. Why wrong? Denies access and notice. Remedy: file affidavit, move to correct docket, administrative complaint and appeal. Using administrative or technical rules, calendar manipulation, to get earlier trial date to ambush defense. Why wrong? Unfair trial scheduling. Remedy: motion for continuance for fairness, document prejudice. False representation of court deadlines to trap pro-esse litigants, misleading them about filing dates. Why wrong? Denies meaningful opportunity to be heard. Remedy: seek equitable relief, file nunc pro tunc motions, preserve appeal. Withholding plea offers, not disclosing all plea discussions. Why wrong? Can affect plea decisions and due process. Remedy: motion to require disclosure of plea logs and communications, raise on appeal if harmed. Ghostwriting orders, judge's clerk drafts an opinion claimed as judge's own to conceal who wrote it. Why wrong? Transparency/ethics issues, especially if clerk has conflict. Remedy: motion for recusal, administrative complaint, appeal based on irregularities. Misleading defendants about consequences of not appearing, intentionally ambiguous warrants/bench warrants. Why wrong? Can create unwarranted arrest, notice issues. Remedy: review warrant paperwork, move to quash, show lack of proper notice. Failing to disclose plea deals or cooperation agreements involving key witnesses. Why wrong? Impeachment evidence under Giglio/Brady. Remedy: demand full disclosure, seek new trial if withheld. Judge or prosecutor communicating with jurors outside record, improper influence. Why wrong? Juror tampering/improper influence. Remedy: move for inquiry, mistrial, juror interview, record for appeal. Intentionally scheduling hearings at times, or places, likely to prevent a defendant from attending. Why wrong? Interferes with right to be present/defend. Remedy: object on record, seek continuance, preserve issue. Using special prosecutors or deputies with undisclosed conflicts/relationships. Why wrong? Conflicts of interest, fairness concerns. Remedy: motion to disclose conflicts, recusal, removal. Misstating or hiding evidence of chain of custody gaps. Why wrong? Tampering/unknown handling may render evidence unreliable. Remedy: subpoena full chain of custody, seek suppression. Purposely slow-walking discovery so evidence disappears or memories fade. Why wrong? Prejudices defense, may be sanctionable delay. Remedy: file motion to compel and for sanctions, preserve for appeal. Clerks refusing to accept filings or demanding unusual formalities to delay. Why wrong? Denial of access to courts. Remedy: document refusal, file emergency petition to appropriate court/administrator.
All right, did you hear that? Some clerks out there are refusing to accept filings or demanding unusual formalities to delay you. This is a violation of your rights. They do this all the time, and then we just kind of go, okay, well, I guess I'll just give up. They're the person. Now, don't get me wrong, it sucks because you can spend all day, all year, all month, whatever, refiling. Here, file an emergency petition to the appropriate court or their administrator. Report them for document refusal, about like it can't add up. So you have to pick and choose your battles. You have to pick and choose. Maybe get through the main one and then come back and go after them later.
Misuse of grand jury secrecy to hide prosecutorial mistakes or conflicts. Why wrong? Secrecy used improperly to shield misconduct. Remedy: move for disclosure of transcripts where necessary, challenge indictment fairness. Deliberate destruction or failure to preserve body cams, dash cams, or 911 calls. Why wrong? Destroys Brady material and evidence preservation obligations. Remedy: motion to preserve or for adverse inference and to dismiss if willful. Official intimidation or retaliation against those who seek review, witnesses, defense lawyers, journalists. Why wrong? Chilling of defense and oversight, civil rights violations. Remedy: document retaliation, complain to oversight bodies, DOJ civil rights, state AG, inspector general, consider civil claim. Quick checklist: what to collect and do immediately if you suspect misconduct. Get and preserve all discovery, police reports, lab files, body/cam, 911, internal emails. Ask for all officer notes, raw lab data, and internal memoranda, not just final reports. Demand a Brady/Giglio disclosure in writing and on the record. Justia law. Document chain of custody with dates, initials, and location logs. If you missed notice or were improperly served, get the affidavit of service and server records, move to vacate any default. Preserve any video/audio, ask court/agency to issue preservation order. Who to complain to or notify, short list.
So it says to preserve any audio, video, or audio. Ask the court or an agency to issue a preservation order. Okay, let's keep going. So, who to complain or notify?
List. State Judicial Conduct Board, for judge misconduct. Local/state inspector general. Local state bar/disciplinary authority, for prosecutors/attorneys. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, for systemic or constitutional law enforcement violations. Local/state inspector general or attorney general, and federal inspector general for federal actors. Innocence Project/conviction integrity unit, if wrongful conviction concerns. Innocence Project. Why this matters, short.
All right. There you guys have it. But once again, it's up to you guys. You have to stand on their necks and get your rights. You have that under the Constitution. Constitution is the highest law in the land. What they're doing is a bubble where they are almost 100% all powerful in their bubble. But their bubble is in our bigger bubble. But because we're so tiny in there and we're so crunched in and it's everything we've ever known, we've never known anything but the public. But outside of there is the whole new world. Oh, sorry. And that is the real law. It's the Constitution. God, faith, private, common law, religious, all that is out here. And it is far intrinsically more powerful than their codes and statutes. If you redeem it, if you deem it, if you don't waive your rights, And if you make the agencies enforce it and do their job, these agencies, it's their job to protect you when you make a complaint. Matter of fact, you guys can look up, I think it's misprision of felony. It is where if you report a crime or something like that that's going on to one of these agents or actors who's operating under the government in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and they do nothing, they are part of the felony. They have a job to do. But understand, a lot of them do not overstand that you in your private capacity are, in fact, their boss. You in your public capacity are their janitor. And, well, you need to know and let them know. You need to know, and you need to let them know who and what you are in each event that occurs or comes up. Otherwise, they get to assume you're just their janitor. But they have a job and an oath to do. But there are some dirty little syndicates, some clandestine sovereign judges, sovereign police officers, clandestine agents, agencies, and things of that nature out there to subvert the American way of life. And that those people, persons, entities, ens legises, and whatever else are traitors and should be dealt with in a treasonous manner. They are a threat that is domestic. And real Americans and the real law and the real government knows how to take care of American threats, foreign or domestic. God bless America. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for being a patriot like myself to ensure the American way of life, not this side hustle corporation bootleg AR 840-10 gold French flag and some of its agents and agencies and actors within. They're not all bad, but the ones that are, and once again, I've always said this since I started this channel, how many bad officers, judges, lawyers, attorneys, cops, agents, three-letter agencies do you have if the good ones in there do nothing while the bad ones live in a corrupted, systemic way of the degradation and defilement of our country and constitution? Welcome to the shebang-a-bang. Enjoy yourselves. You guys go out there, take care, have a great week. Take care of yourself, your family, your friends, your mental health, your health. I mean, everything. Just take care of everything. There's going to be a lot of changes coming, and you guys are going to be you guys. If you're watching, if you're live right now watching this, within the next couple of months and years, you're going to see some amazing changes. Some of them are going to be dark, but it always is darkest before the dawn. So make sure you guys put your money up, protect yourselves, stock up on food, normal things like you should. Dollar store, get some canned goods, protect yourselves, get things to protect yourselves. But at the same time, be prepared for the change. It's on the way. Change is the only inevitable thing in a universe that changes everything. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Don't forget to join me over on YouTube on my other channel, Badwolf Unrestricted, because I got some knowledge to drop, and somebody has to be the bad wolf. Talk to you guys later.